Hello, friends. Thank you for coming back to hang out with Elevate with Erica today. At the top of the show, I want to go ahead and shed light on what today is. It will be Memorial Day when this episode airs. Remember that this is not just a day off of work or an extended weekend. Today, we remember and honor all U.S. military members who have fought and died in service. Take time to reflect on the lives of the men and women who gave it all for us. And I hope you're able to do something that celebrates the life that you get to live today. I actually haven't planned anything because the weather has just been so back and forth. One day it's going to rain, one day it's not. The temps just aren't looking that fantastic for what we traditionally do, which is to go grill outs at my mom's, swim in her pool, but I don't think that's going to happen this year. So we will see what the future holds on that. But either way, I'm going to make it a great day. I hope you do as well. Let's go ahead and jump to the meat with a question. All right. So I had an Instagram friend, Debbie, share a reel to her story yesterday. And I heard something in it, something I've just never quite identified as an excuse before. And in my line of work, I hear all of the excuses, right? I feel like I've heard everything. But when I heard this, I was like, whoa, like it was a light bulb moment for me that I had never actually related this saying to an excuse. Have you ever said, it's easier said than done? I know I have. And have you ever said it in reference to something you deep down would like to have? Yes, me too. I know it may just be a true statement to make. But does saying it's easier said than done serve you? This reel I was watching, which, by the way, I do want to give credit to the source, was from Lakeisha Michelle on Instagram. It uncovered for me that is an excuse. It's you telling yourself it's going to be difficult, maybe too hard. It's putting you on that path, that slippery slope to coming to the conclusion of, I probably can't do that. Now, you may be thinking, it's just words, Erica. And in fact, it may be a true statement. But our words, they really matter. You've all heard, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they produce your future. And I'm very careful of the words that I choose. I know that under those words, under that statement of it's easier said than done, is the limiting belief that I can't do that thing. And by saying that, by giving that belief a voice, I'm fueling it, right? I'm validating it. I'm giving that belief proof that it's right. It's easier said than done. Damn right it is. And that's why it's worth doing. You guys know I'm anti-hustle culture, right? Maybe I should say I'm pro-hustle. Anyone who has attained something great in their life will tell you it came with hard work. There is nothing bad about hustling for the things that you really want. Hustle doesn't mean you never rest. It means when you show up, you show the F out. In hopes of increasing my earning potential, going back to school for my master's with a 2-month-old baby who didn't sleep longer than 2 hours at a time while working a full-time job, that took hustle. In search of a healthier home and example of love for my boys, leaving my ex-husband and the home that I loved and so many of my belongings behind with a shit ton of credit card debt and 2 boys in tow to move back in with my parents and start over at 28, that took hustle. Desiring more time with my boys and to live a life where I loved my career and made a lot of money doing it. Leaving that traditional government 9-to-5 without the sign off from my husband and understanding from so many people around me to build my own stream of income from home, from the ground up, that took hustle. And I had to choose my hard and all of those things because either side of the coin is hard. And every one of those things improved my life significantly, significantly. Every one of those things that were easier said than done were worth the hustle. I have so many conversations with people in person and through my DMs about areas in their life where they want to make a change, but they don't actually take the steps to do anything when it comes down to it. Why? Because they are stuck in, it's easier said than done. That's the voice in the back of their head. That's the limiting belief on repeat. I've never disliked that phrase more than I do today. That reel has just made me see it in a whole new light. And I'm that person that will quickly call my husband and my kids out when they make a statement that I know is just a limiting belief in disguise. Now I've added this one to the list, my poor family, right? But I know how important our words are. We can do some serious damage, not just to others, but to ourselves with words. And this episode is nothing more than to get you to shed some light on the words that you're choosing to. I'm ready to remove this one from my category. And next time that you say it's easier said than done, I want you to try something with me. I'm going to ask myself, is this something I want or would like to have? If it's not, I'm going to replace that statement with, wow, they worked really hard for that. Good for them. But if it's something that I want, I'm going to ask myself why I'm not willing to put in the work for it. We have to call ourselves out in these moments, talk back to that inner critic instead of listening to it. Come face to face with that inner critic and call her out. Maybe you're going to realize you're actually fully capable, and that's what scares you. You know you could have it if you worked for it, right? It's the work that you're afraid of. And this is where you get to decide the hard that you're going to settle for. The hard of staying where you are and never living out your full potential, or the hard of working for the life you dream of. Or maybe you'll realize you don't want to be a beginner. And then that's a whole other conversation to have, because no one started something knowing what the F they were doing, right? Skipping the process is skipping a beautiful, beautiful part of the journey. That's where you find out what you're fully capable of. That's where you build up that mental flex. That's the part that'll allow you to inspire others along the way, not just when you reach the destination, along the way, because I refuse to go to the top alone. I'm going to the top. I'm reaching my goals. I'm confident about that. And I'm bringing people with me. That's why I have this podcast. That's why I'm in my stories. That's why I show up in my fitness groups with my clients. That's why I lead the team of women that I do. Because while I'm learning and growing and screwing up and trying again, I'm getting closer and closer and closer to my goals. And I'm bringing people with me. You know what's actually easier said than done? Not doing anything. Not doing anything is easier said than done. You might be like, wait, what? Rewind. Let me listen to that one more time. Not doing anything is pretty easy to do. But is it? Settling? Is settling actually an easier alternative? Here's the truth. It's easier to say, I'm fine with fine, than to actually do the settling, than to actually settle for fine. Because every day you feel the tug. Every time you see someone else bring their dreams to life, it stings a little more. And I'm not there yet, but every time I see someone near the end of their life state their regret, it's always regarding things they wished they had done. And I don't want to get to the end full of wishes. And I don't want that for you either. Want dreams and goals that you're sitting on What are they? What are you not choosing just because it's a different hard? I heard something when I was making the decision to leave my full-time job. I kept hearing this phrase over and over again, and I know it wasn't by accident, especially now looking back. When I was making the decision to leave my full-time job and build this thing that people close to me didn't understand, it was, if you go after this, what's the worst case scenario? And in that question, I realized I was already in my worst case scenario. It would be to leave that job and then have to return back to a job just like it because this other thing didn't work out. So, who cares? Could I build back up to where I was in that job if I wanted to? Absolutely. I have my degrees and my experience, and I could earn my way back to that leadership role I held before. I don't want to. It was my worst case scenario to have to spend my next 30 years like that, but I could. So I had nothing to lose in trying to build what I really wanted as a career. Maybe in your worst case scenario, you had some money or some time because you went after that thing and it didn't work out. So what? I think your goals and dreams are worth the investment. This is your shot. And I'll bet that you find out some worthwhile answers along that journey, even if it doesn't pan out the way that you hope that it will. Maybe you just have a lot of fun figuring out what your real passion and purpose is. And that's worth investing in. You're worth it. The person you were put on this earth to be is worth finding. It's easier said than done as an excuse. And I hope you never hear those words again without remembering that from now on. Sorry, not sorry. Elevate with Erica. We are doing this together, friends. We are elevating our life, which requires us to elevate our thoughts, our words, our actions. The words you choose determine the life you'll live. Watch the hard that you're settling for, because everything in your life is a choice. And I want you to choose the hard that is in line with the life you truly desire. Discipline is hard. Regret is hard. Which one is harder? That's your choice to make. Until next episode, friends.